This is Thankful November. This is 30 days of me saying one thing that I'm thankful for, whether it's a person, place, or thing. Welcome back. Uh, for today, those of you in the US, this is Voting Tuesday. I've already voted. So if you haven't, go out and exercise your right to vote. But that is what I'm thankful for today is the ability to be able to vote. Um, what prompted me really being thankful for this, uh, I've been doing a lot of things, reading a lot of books this year on civil rights movement and finding out, just how pivotal Black women were during the civil rights movement and beyond. But I was really ticked off when I was watching a news clip of a Black man being interviewed, asking, who would he be willing to share who he was going to vote for, and why. And he didn't really say why. He just, other than, I'm not voting for no woman, especially a Black woman. And that really ticked me off. And I'm like, you have an opportunity to vote for someone. And I'm not saying he should vote for her or vote for the other person. I'm saying we all have a responsibility for our right to vote, to not vote just because someone is a woman, not vote for someone just because they're Black, not vote for someone just because they're a Democrat or a Republican. Look at it and say, what do they value? What policies do they hold? Do they line up with my values? And vote for that person. But to blatantly say that it's not her policies that make you not want to vote for her is because she's a woman, that really ticked me off, because that person obviously doesn't understand the right to vote. And I want to drop a little bit of knowledge on you right quick. I know these are supposed to be 3 to 5 minutes, but I just really felt compelled after watching the ignorance of that statement go forth to put out a request for Black men in particular to think about what that statement truly means. Look at it like this. You sold us out during the 15th Amendment, where you got the vote, but you and white men conspired together so that women as a whole didn't get the vote until the 19th Amendment was passed, in which in some instances, even white women tried to sell Black women out and prevent them from getting the vote. And even after having the 19th Amendment ratified and approved, due to Jim Crow, all of us didn't get the right to vote. All of us were attacked for trying to exercise our basic God-given right to vote that's in the Constitution, that we all have a right to vote. You sold us out. We need you to stand up and be for us, especially when you agree with our policies and our values. It's one thing if you don't agree, but the sole purpose of saying you will not vote for someone because of their sex or because of their race is preposterous. Black men, we need you to stand up and stand with us, not just for us, but with us, because you sold us out when it came to having the first female, Black female Supreme Court justice. Because I believe, although I honor Chief Justice Brown, the first one should have been Constance Baker Motley. But she was sold out by Thurgood Marshall, because when he left the NAACP, she was not appointed to head the Legal Defense Fund, when she was one of the critical components for getting their success rate in getting things done. He appointed a white Jewish man. She was sold out. So going forward in her career, that was a big blemish. And people kept wondering why. But I believe with all the women she helped, with all the women she mentored, both white and Black, she should have been the first female, and she should have been the first Black woman on the U.S. Supreme Court because you can't say she wasn't qualified. For all the things that she won, all the cases that she won. And did you know she was 10 for 10 when she was defending people on against the in the Supreme Court. Let me get that right. When she had a defendant and she was going to the Supreme Court, 10 times she went, 10 times she won. So I'm saying, we don't need you to stand up for us. Stand up with us. Let's do this together. Stop selling us out because you think there is less. There is more than enough for everybody. We need to get rid of this lack mentality that the black man got to get it first before you can even think about giving it to the black woman. I mean, you sold us out when Shirley Chisholm ran for president. Yes, she knew she was not going to be president, but she thought with enough votes, with enough delegates, our voices could be heard. And she was sold out by the Congressional Black Caucus and Walter Fauntroy, and she was one of the founding members of the caucus. But they left her hanging out to dry. We don't need you to stand in front of us. We need you to stand with us. High tide raises all boats. We don't need you going in our boat and putting a hole in it. We need to stand up and do things together. And we need to understand that our right to vote is something that we need to exercise every time. We need to be appreciative of the women who help fight for that right and help gain that right. Because if you look at it, you didn't stand up for Ella Baker. She was an organizing beast. Do you understand me? She could run an organization better than anyone. But was she handed the Southern Christian Leadership Conference? No. It was run by men who ran it into the ground and did not use her skills to what the organization could have been, should have been. You did not support us for Fannie Lou Hamer. You left us out to dry. It's time for us to rise together, to do what needs to be done so that everyone is equal, no matter your race, no matter your creed. Everyone needs to be equal and treated fairly. Don't take the right to vote for granted. Exercise your right to vote. Use it. Appreciate it. Understand every candidate and what they believe, what their policies are. Do not be a slave to voting to a party. Because no party has everyone's welfare in mind. They just can't. So again, this is Thankful November. I'm thankful for today, being in the U.S., the right to vote, because there are so many countries out there that don't have that right, that don't exercise that right. And then there's too many people in this country who have the right, who don't vote, who don't believe it'll make a difference. And you have to look at not just the national. I think your vote is more powerful locally because those people affect you every day. And you need to exercise your right to vote. Again, like I said, this is Thankful November. This is my 30 days of going live for 3 to 5 minutes to help me get reps in, to become more comfortable on camera so that when I launch my podcast next month, Knowledge Gumbo, where we're going to be sharing wisdom from some of these Black women and Black men as well. Also, some African proverbs and other things to get a different flavor on the wisdom. So, thank you for joining me today. If you haven't, go out and vote. Make a difference in your area of the world. Thank you.